My beloved child, pause for a moment and listen with your heart, not just your ears. This is not a random message, and this is not appearing by chance. Archangel Michael is stepping forward right now, lifting a red flag in the spirit, because what is approaching your life carries urgency. This is the moment the title warned you about. A signal hath been released, and ignoring it would be a mistake your soul would regret later. Hear this carefully. When Archangel Michael raises a red flag, it is never to frighten you. It is to protect you. It is a divine interruption meant to stop you before something unfolds the wrong way. There is a situation already forming around you, quietly, subtly, almost invisibly. On the surface, it looks normal. Everything appears fine. But beneath that surface, something is misaligned, and if left unchecked, it will bring sorrow instead of peace. Archangel Michael says this is an emergency of awareness, not panic. You are being warned ahead of time because heaven wants you prepared, not broken. There is a choice in front of you right now, even if you have not fully recognized it yet. One path leads to safety, clarity, and divine covering. The other path leads to emotional pain, regret, and tears that could have been avoided. Listen closely. The tragedy mentioned is not sudden. It is progressive. It builds when signs are ignored. It grows when intuition is silenced. It manifests when people keep saying, "It will be fine," while their spirit is quietly uneasy. That uneasiness you have been feeling lately is not imagination. It is a signal. Archangel Michael is pointing directly to something you have been postponing. A conversation you keep delaying. A decision you keep pushing to later. A boundary you know you should set, but you hesitate because you do not want conflict. Heaven is saying this delay is dangerous. Not because you are weak, but because timing matters in the spiritual realm. My beloved child, do you know why this message feels intense? Because time is sensitive right now. There is a narrow window where correction is easy and protection flows naturally. Miss that window, and the same situation becomes heavier, harder, and emotionally costly. This is why the words "act before it's too late" are being emphasized so strongly. Archangel Michael stands as a warrior of truth. He does not whisper warnings for entertainment. He speaks when protection is required. And he is saying that someone or something around you is not aligned with your destiny. It may look supportive. It may sound convincing. It may even feel familiar. But familiarity does not always mean safe. Pay attention to the signs you have been receiving. Repeated delays, strange interruptions, unexpected obstacles. These are not punishments. These are breaks. Heaven is slowing you down so you do not walk straight into emotional damage. But if you keep forcing forward without discernment, those breaks will no longer protect you. There is also a deep emotional layer here. Archangel Michael is revealing that your heart has been carrying a quiet burden. You have been trying to stay strong, telling yourself not to overthink, not to feel too much. But suppressing discernment does not make danger disappear. It only delays the warning until it becomes louder. The phrase "open it now," or you will cry, is not about fear. It is about revelation. There is truth you need to face now, gently, so that you do not face it later through pain. Opening your eyes today saves your tears tomorrow. This is divine mercy speaking. Archangel Michael says, do not assume everyone around you has pure intentions. Do not assume every opportunity is sent by God just because it looks promising. Discernment is required in this season. Silence your distractions. Pull back your energy. Observe more than you speak. My beloved child, this message found you because your spirit is receptive. You are not late yet. You are not doomed. You are not abandoned. You are being protected in advance. But protection requires cooperation. Heaven can warn you, but you must respond. Something important will be revealed soon. A truth that makes everything make sense. When it comes, do not argue with it. Do not explain it away. Accept it calmly and act with wisdom. This one choice will determine whether you walk into relief or regret. Archangel Michael is standing guard over you right now. His sword is raised, not against you, but against what is trying to come near your peace. But he needs your awareness. He needs your obedience to that inner nudge you keep feeling. Take this message seriously, but not fearfully. You are loved. You are guided. You are being warned because your future matters. What you do next will shift the outcome completely. If this message stirred something deep within you, it is because your spirit recognizes truth. My precious soul, now that you have heard the warning, Archangel Michael wants you to understand why this moment matters so deeply. This is not just about avoiding pain. This is about alignment. When heaven sends a red flag, it means something is trying to pull you out of divine order. And when alignment is disturbed, even good intentions can lead to heavy consequences. Archangel Michael is revealing that this emergency is connected to a pattern. Not a single event, but a repeating cycle you have seen before in different forms. The faces change, the situations change, but the emotional outcome feels familiar. Disappointment, confusion, regret. And each time, you promised yourself it would be different next time. This time, heaven is stepping in before the cycle completes itself again. Here is a decision you are standing near, even if it seems small. A yes you are about to give. A no you are afraid to say. A door you are tempted to walk through because it feels urgent or emotionally charged. Archangel Michael says urgency without peace is a warning sign. Divine timing never pressures you into panic. Darkness always rushes. Light gives clarity. You may be sensing resistance lately. Things not flowing as smoothly as they should. Plans being delayed. Conversations feeling off. This is not because you are failing. It is because heaven is blocking something you cannot yet see clearly. If that block were removed too early, you would step forward with confidence but fall into sorrow later. Archangel Michael wants you to slow your spirit. Not your progress, but your reaction. Right now, your emotions are being tested. Someone may be triggering old wounds. A situation may be awakening fear of loss, fear of being alone, or fear of missing out. These fears can make you ignore red flags just to feel temporary relief. But temporary relief often leads to permanent lessons. Hear this clearly. The tragedy being warned about is not punishment. It is preventable. That is why this message exists. Heaven does not want what it has already decided to destroy. Heaven warns what it intends to protect. Your future still has flexibility. Your choices still carry power. Archangel Michael says discernment will be louder than logic in this season. Things may look right on paper but feel wrong in your spirit. Trust that feeling. God often speaks through discomfort long before he speaks through confirmation. That quiet unease is a form of divine language. You are also being asked to detach emotionally from outcomes. Stop trying to control how things will turn out. Control is often disguised fear. When you release control, clarity follows. When you cling tightly, vision blurs. Archangel Michael is calling you into a higher level of trust, not blind trust in people, but trust in divine protection. My precious soul, this message is also a reminder that you are not walking alone. Even though you may feel misunderstood or unsupported right now, The spiritual realm is active around you. Battles you do not see are being fought on your behalf. Delays are not denials. Silence is not absence. Now listen carefully, because this is important. The reason this message reached you is because your awareness is awakening, and awareness changes outcomes. Many people cry later because they ignored early signals. You are being spared that pain if you respond wisely. If this message resonates with you even a little, take a moment right now to engage with it. Like this message so it reaches more souls who may also be standing near a dangerous decision. Share it with someone who needs discernment right now. Leave a comment declaring that you choose wisdom over impulse. Subscribe to this channel and join this spiritual family so you remain under messages that sharpen your awareness. If you feel led, joining the membership helps strengthen this mission of spreading divine warnings and protection. Archangel Michael says community matters in times of decision. Isolation weakens discernment. Connection strengthens it. That is why you were led here. Before you move on with your day, pause and reflect. What hath been repeatedly unsettling your spirit? Where have you been rushing instead of praying? Who or what have you been excusing despite inner warnings? Your answer holds the key. Do not rush away from this moment. What comes next will connect the dots in a way you did not expect, and it may reveal the true source of the warning you are receiving. Hold on, because what is about to be revealed will change how you see this entire situation. Beloved one, as this message goes deeper, Archangel Michael wants you to understand something crucial that has been hidden beneath the surface. The warning you are receiving is not only about an external situation. It is also about an internal shift that must happen now. The tragedy that is being prevented is not just an event. It is a spiritual consequence that forms when truth is delayed. Archangel Michael says there is a veil lifting around your perception. Things you once defended, you are starting to question. Things you once ignored, you are beginning to notice. This is not confusion. This is clarity arriving quietly. When heaven prepares to expose something, it first prepares the heart to receive it without breaking. You may soon discover a truth that changes how you see a person, a plan, or a path you were emotionally invested in. And when that revelation comes, it may sting for a moment. But that sting is mercy. It is far better to feel a brief discomfort now than long-term sorrow later. This is why this message feels heavy yet protective at the same time. Archangel Michael is emphasizing that the exposure coming is not meant to shame anyone, including you. It is meant to separate illusion from reality. You have been carrying expectations that were never supported by truth. And expectations built on illusion always collapse eventually. Heaven is intervening early so the collapse does not happen on top of you. Listen carefully. There is a difference between hope and denial. Hope is patient and grounded in peace. Denial is anxious and refuses to acknowledge warning signs. Archangel Michael says you have been walking the thin line between the two. This message is pulling you fully back into hope, the kind that is aligned with wisdom. Something you have been asking God to fix externally is being addressed internally first. Your discernment is being sharpened. Your tolerance for misalignment is decreasing. Your spirit is becoming less willing to accept half-truths. This is growth, even if it feels uncomfortable. Beloved one, do not be surprised if conversations shift, if dynamics change, or if certain doors suddenly close without explanation. Closures are not always rejection. Sometimes they are divine rescue. When God closes a door urgently, it is often because danger was on the other side. Archangel Michael also wants you to know that tears are not your destiny in this situation. Relief is. Peace is. But peace requires courage. courage to step back, courage to speak up, courage to walk away if necessary. Heaven will not force you, but it will continue to warn you until you choose wisely. There's a strong emphasis right now on obedience. Not obedience to fear, but obedience to truth. Even if that truth disrupts comfort, even if it challenges emotional attachments. Temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term protection. You may feel a sense of urgency rising in your spirit after hearing this. That is not panic. That is alignment clicking into place. When truth arrives, delay becomes uncomfortable. The discomfort is your cue to act calmly but decisively. Archangel Michael says you are being watched over more closely than you realize. The enemy does not attack what has no future. Resistance is confirmation that your destiny matters. But resistance only succeeds when warnings are ignored. I hear this final instruction for this moment. Do not discuss this warning with people who cannot discern spiritually. Not everyone deserves access to what God is revealing to you. Protect the revelation until clarity fully settles. If this message is speaking directly to your spirit, this is your confirmation moment. Type "I receive divine warning" in the comments if this message aligns with your heart. Blessing code 444 has just been released over your life. As this warning reaches your heart, hear this invitation with the same seriousness. The Lord is saying, as you have received light, now become a carrier of light. When you support this mission, you are sowing into souls who are being warned just in time, just like you. This is not about supporting a channel. This is about rescuing destinies before tears replace discernment. I feel led to tell you directly, this is your moment to respond, not layer. Scripture says that those who sow in righteousness reap peace, and your seed becomes oil for lamps that are still flickering in darkness. Do not miss this window of obedience. Release your support now through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal. The link is waiting in the description. As you give, may protection rise around your household and clarity overflow in every decision you make. Obey the nudge. Act now. My beloved one, now Archangel Michael invites you to step even deeper into understanding, because awareness alone is not enough. What heaven is doing right now is repositioning you. There is a shift happening beneath your feet, subtle yet powerful, and if you resist it, the resistance itself will become the source of future pain. This is why the warning feels persistent. It is not repeating because you did not hear it. It is repeating because the moment to move has arrived. Archangel Michael says there is something you have outgrown, even if part of you still feels emotionally attached to it. Growth often feels like tension before it feels like freedom. You may be trying to hold together something that is already cracking, hoping effort will fix what alignment no longer supports. But effort without alignment leads to exhaustion, not peace. Pay attention to how tired you have been lately, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. That exhaustion is a signal. It is the soul's way of saying, this no longer fits who you are becoming. When something is ordained, it energizes you even in difficulty. When something is misaligned, it drains you even when things seem calm. Archangel Michael is revealing that the tragedy being warned about would come from staying where you are not meant to remain. It is not always a dramatic event. Sometimes the tragedy is slowly losing joy, clarity, and self-respect while telling yourself everything is fine. Heaven refuses to let that be your story. You are entering a season where excuses will no longer bring comfort. What once felt like reasonable justification will begin to feel heavy and hollow. This is not condemnation. This is clarity maturing. When truth matures, it demands action. There is also a lesson here about trust. Not blind trust, but discerning trust. You have a generous heart, and that has been both a gift and a vulnerability. Archangel Michael says generosity without boundaries invites imbalance. You were never meant to pour endlessly into spaces that do not pour back truth, respect, or peace. Do not confuse patience with permission. You can be patient without allowing harm. You can love without enabling misalignment. Heaven is teaching you how to protect your heart without hardening it. That balance is wisdom. Beloved one, you may soon notice a clear internal separation happening. Things that once confused you will suddenly feel obvious. Choices that once felt complicated will become simple. Not easy, but simple. Simple does not mean painless. It means clear. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that clarity is a gift many people never accept. Some people choose familiarity over freedom. You are being offered freedom, but freedom requires your release. You cannot carry everything into the next season. There is a sense of urgency here because delay would deepen attachment, and deeper attachment would make separation more painful. Heaven is shortening the process out of mercy. What you release now with courage would have been taken later with tears. This is divine kindness, even if it feels intense. You may feel moments of grief for what could have been, or for what you hoped something would become. Allow those feelings to pass through you without judgment. Grief does not mean you are wrong. It means you cared, and caring is not a weakness. Staying when truth has been revealed is. Archangel Michael is standing beside you, strengthening your resolve. You are not being asked to leap blindly. You are being asked to take one honest step at a time. One truthful conversation. One firm boundary. One decision rooted in peace instead of fear. Do not announce your moves to everyone. Some shifts are meant to happen quietly. Protection often works best in silence. Let your actions speak later. Right now, let discernment guide you. Beloved one, understand this clearly. The warning was never about taking something away from you. It was about making room for what is truly meant for you. What is coming carries peace, not anxiety. It carries stability, not constant effort. But it cannot arrive while you are holding on to what blocks it. This is a sacred transition moment. Do not rush it, but do not resist it either. Breathe. Pray. Reflect. Then act with calm obedience. Archangel Michael assures you that once you take this step, the heaviness you have been carrying will begin to lift in ways you did not expect. You are not losing. You are aligning. And alignment always leads to protection. Stay present with this message. What unfolds next will bring even deeper confirmation, and it will reveal why this warning arrived exactly when it did. Beloved soul, Archangel Michael now draws your attention to something very delicate yet powerful, because the stage you are entering requires inner honesty more than outer action. This is where many people stumble, not because they lack faith, but because they avoid facing themselves. The warning you received earlier was loud. This part is quieter, but it is just as important. Silence often carries the deepest instruction. There is an inner agreement you made long ago, perhaps without realizing it. An agreement to tolerate certain patterns. An agreement to stay silent to keep peace. An agreement to carry responsibility that was never meant to be yours. Archangel Michael says these inner agreements are now being challenged. What once felt necessary is now becoming heavy. That heaviness is your signal. You may notice your tolerance shrinking. Things you once brushed off now disturb you. Words that once passed unnoticed now linger in your spirit. This is not sensitivity. It is discernment awakening. When discernment awakens, it becomes impossible to return to comfortable ignorance. And this is where courage is required. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that avoidance is not neutrality. Avoidance is a decision that allows momentum to continue in the wrong direction. The tragedy that was being warned about would not come from a single wrong move, but from many small avoided moments stacking on top of each other. Heaven interrupts patterns before they harden into outcomes. There is also something about timing here that you must grasp. You are not late, but you are no longer early either. This is the moment where clarity must turn into response. Not reaction, not drama, but response. A grounded, thoughtful, prayerful response. You may be tempted to wait for a perfect sign, a perfect feeling, or perfect certainty. Archangel Michael says perfection is not required, but obedience is. Most divine shifts happen while we are still slightly uncomfortable, still unsure, still trembling a little. Faith is rarely calm at the beginning. It becomes calm after alignment. Beloved one, notice how often your body reacts before your mind does. Tightness in your chest, a sudden drop in energy, a restless feeling that appears without reason. These are not random sensations. Your spirit speaks through your body when your mind is too busy negotiating with fear. You are being asked to listen to those signals now, not analyze them away. Overthinking is often a way to delay obedience while pretending to seek wisdom. Archangel Michael says wisdom is already present. What is needed now is trust in what had been revealed. This part of the journey also involves releasing the need to be understood. Some people will not understand why you change your stance, your availability, or your direction. They may question you. They may misunderstand your silence or your boundaries. But obedience does not require approval. Heaven is more concerned with your protection than your reputation. And sometimes, protection looks like being misunderstood for a season. That season will pass. Peace will remain. Beloved soul, there is something deeply freeing about choosing yourself without guilt, choosing truth without apology, choosing alignment without explanation. Archangel Michael is teaching you that self-betrayal in the name of peace is not peace at all. True peace begins when you stop abandoning yourself. You may feel moments of loneliness as you step into this clarity. That loneliness is temporary. It is the space created when misaligned connections loosen before aligned ones arrive. Do not rush to fill that space. Let it do its work. Silence recalibrates the soul. This is also a moment of spiritual maturity. You are learning that not every battle requires confrontation, and not every truth requires announcement. Some truths are honored by action alone. Walk differently. Respond differently. Choose differently. That is enough. Archangel Michael assures you that once you cross this internal threshold, the external pressure will ease. The anxiety you have been carrying will begin to loosen its grip. Not because everything suddenly becomes perfect, but because you will no longer be fighting your own discernment. Remember this. The warning came because you were ready to hear it. Many are warned, but few are willing to respond. Your willingness is what sets you apart. Stay gentle with yourself in this process. You are unlearning survival habits and learning alignment. That takes grace. Do not rush your healing. Do not shame your past choices. They brought you here, to this moment of clarity. As you move forward, trust will replace tension step by step. Archangel Michael walks with you, not ahead of you, not behind you, but beside you. And what is coming next will reveal how divinely orchestrated this timing truly is. Remain attentive. The next layer of this message will uncover the deeper purpose behind this warning, and it will connect everything you have been sensing into one clear truth. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a tone of strengthening, because this stage of the message is about reinforcement. When truth is revealed, the next challenge is consistency. Many receive warnings. Fewer maintain the posture needed to walk them out. Heaven is not only warning you, it is fortifying you so you do not drift back into old patterns once emotions settle. Right now, you may feel a strange mixture of relief and tension. Relief because things are finally making sense. Tension because clarity demands change. Archangel Michael says this tension is holy. It is the friction between who you were and who you are becoming. Do not try to escape it. Let it refine you. There is something important you must recognize. Once discernment activates, going back becomes uncomfortable on purpose. A discomfort is a safeguard. It keeps you from romanticizing what once strained you. If you feel resistance when you consider returning to old habits, old conversations, or old compromises, that is protection working correctly. You are also being trained to respond differently under pressure. Situations that once triggered immediate reaction are now inviting pause, silence, paired observation. This is not weakness. This is authority maturing. Archangel Michael says power that reacts impulsively leaks energy. Power that pauses gathers strength. There may be moments where you question yourself. Moments where you wonder if you are being too cautious, too guarded, or too serious. In those moments, remember this warning was not given lightly. Heaven does not interrupt lives without cause. You were warned because the cost of ignoring it was too high. Pay attention to how your priorities are shifting. Things that once consumed your attention are losing their grip. Peace is becoming more valuable than validation. Alignment is becoming more important than approval. This is evidence that the message is doing its work within you. Archangel Michael is also addressing fear of loss. Fear that if you let go, you will end up with nothing. This fear often keeps people tied to misaligned situations far longer than necessary. But hear this truth clearly. God never removes without replacing. He never subtracts without multiplying. What leaves now creates space for what fits you better. There is also a call here to guard your words. Do not speak from frustration. Do not vent prematurely. Words spoken in emotional charge can undo the calm clarity you are building. Choose silence when emotions rise. Silence is not suppression. It is strategy. Beloved one, community plays a role in this season. Surround yourself with voices that respect your discernment, not those who mock it. Wisdom grows best in environments that honor truth. That is why messages like this matter, and why staying connected to spiritual reminders strengthens your resolve. If this message is helping you stay grounded, take a moment to support it in simple ways. Like this message so it reaches others who may be standing at the edge of a critical decision. Share it with someone who needs confirmation right now. Leave a comment declaring that you choose alignment and protection. Subscribe to this channel to remain connected to messages that sharpen discernment and strengthen faith. If you feel called, joining the membership helps sustain this mission of spreading timely warnings and spiritual clarity. Archangel Michael says your engagement is not just digital, it is spiritual agreement. When you engage with truth, you reinforce it in your life. Now listen carefully. The next phase of this process involves endurance. Not dramatic endurance, but quiet consistency. You will be tempted to relax your boundaries once things feel calmer. Do not do that. Calm is not a signal to drop discernment. Calm is the reward of obedience. There may be subtle tests ahead. Small invitations to compromise. Gentle nudges to go back to what feels familiar. These are checkpoints, not traps. Each time you choose alignment, your confidence will strengthen. Each time you honor your inner warning system, peace will deepen. Beloved one, you are learning to trust yourself again. The trust was weakened by past experiences where you ignored your intuition and paid the price. Archangel Michael is restoring that trust now. Do not rush the process. Restoration happens layer by layer. Before you move on from this moment, pause and notice how different you feel compared to when this message first began. Something has already shifted. Something has already settled. That is not coincidence. Stay with this message a little longer. What comes next will bring a deeper understanding of who and what this warning was truly protecting you from. And once you see it, you will be grateful you did not look away. Hold on, because this next revelation will tie everything together in a powerful way. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now invites you into a deeper layer of understanding, because what has been unfolding is not random protection. It is targeted. There is a reason this warning arrived when it did, and there is a reason it touched areas of your life that felt sensitive. Heaven always protects with precision. Nothing about this message is generic, and nothing about your experience is accidental. There is something you were moving toward that looked promising on the surface but carried hidden weight beneath it. Not because it was evil, but because it was incomplete. Incomplete foundations eventually crack under pressure. Archangel Michael says you were about to invest more of yourself than the structure could sustain. That imbalance would have cost you peace, energy, and time. This is why you felt conflicted even while feeling hopeful. Your spirit sensed the imbalance before your mind could name it. Many people override that sensing and later wonder why they feel drained, disappointed, or stuck. You are being spared that lesson through awareness instead of pain. Beloved one, there is also a truth here about identity. You have been changing, evolving, shedding old versions of yourself. But some situations and connections around you still relate to who you used to be, not who you are becoming. When growth outpaces environment, friction forms. That friction was not meant to push you back, but to push you forward. Archangel Michael says it is time to stop shrinking your discernment to maintain harmony. Harmony that requires self-betrayal is not harmony. It is silence under pressure. True peace does not demand that you ignore what God is revealing to you. You may notice now that certain conversations feel forced, certain expectations feel heavy, and certain obligations feel misaligned. These feelings are not signs that you are failing. They are signs that your inner compass is recalibrating. When recalibration happens, old coordinates no longer make sense. There is also a release happening at the level of guilt. You may have carried guilt for wanting more peace, more clarity, more emotional safety. But Archangel Michael says these desires are not selfish. They are signals of spiritual maturity. God does not call you to chaos and confusion and then ask you to call it faith. Beloved one, something else is being revealed now. The tragedy that was being warned about was not only about loss, but about delay. Delay in stepping fully into who you are meant to be. Delay in receiving what is aligned for you. Delay in walking with lightness instead of constant inner tension. Heaven is rescuing you from years of slow compromise. This is why the message felt urgent. Not because disaster was imminent, but because destiny was waiting. When destiny waits too long, frustration builds. When frustration builds, people settle. You were close to settling for something that would have kept you busy, but not fulfilled. Archangel Michael is also strengthening your ability to say no without explanation. Not every no needs justification. Not every boundary needs a backstory. Silence can be holy. Distance can be loving. Withdrawal can be wise. You may feel moments of sadness for what you hoped something would become. Allow that sadness to exist without pulling you backward. Grief does not mean you made the wrong choice. It means you are human. Honor the feeling, then release it. Beloved one, you are being repositioned for clarity-driven peace, not emotion-driven decisions. This shift will affect how you choose, how you speak, and how you respond. You will find yourself less reactive and more observant, less eager to fix and more willing to wait. That is not passivity. That is discernment matured. Archangel Michael assures you that what you release now will not leave a void. It will create alignment, and alignment attracts what matches you. The right people will not require you to ignore your intuition. The right opportunities will not pressure you into urgency. The right path will feel steady, not chaotic. There is one more thing you must hear clearly. Do not revisit old decisions with new clarity just to punish yourself. Regret drains energy that should be used for movement. You knew what you knew then. Now you know more. Honor growth without shaming the past. Beloved one, something has already shifted in the spiritual atmosphere around you. The heaviness that once lingered is lifting. The confusion that once circled your thoughts is settling. This is evidence that obedience is already at work, even before full action is taken. Remain attentive but remain calm. You are not racing against disaster anymore. You are walking toward alignment. And alignment always brings peace step by step. Stay with this message. What comes next will reveal how this warning not only protected you, but positioned you for something unexpectedly better than what you were about to choose. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks from a place of confirmation, because what you have been sensing internally is beginning to align with what heaven has already settled. This stage of the message is not about warning anymore. It is about assurance. You did not imagine the shift. You did not overreact. You responded exactly as your spirit was meant to respond. There is a deep settling happening within you now. A quiet strength replacing anxiety. A clarity replacing confusion. This is what happens when discernment is honored instead of suppressed. Archangel Michael says many people ask for peace, but few are willing to release what disrupts it. You were willing, even when it was uncomfortable. You may notice that the emotional charge around certain thoughts has reduced. Things that once triggered worry no longer hold the same power. This is not numbness. This is detachment. Detachment does not mean you do not care. It means you are no longer controlled by outcomes that are not yours to carry. Beloved one, something important has shifted in the spiritual timeline. What once felt like an approaching tragedy has been rerouted. Not erased by chance, but redirected by obedience. Heaven adjusts outcomes when people respond to truth. This is why warnings are acts of mercy, not fear. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that the protection released over you did not only stop something negative, it also activated something positive. When a wrong door is closed, the right door does not always open immediately. Sometimes there is a hallway of preparation. That hallway is where you are now. Do not rush this space. This is where healing integrates. This is where lessons settle into wisdom. This is where you learn to trust calm instead of chaos. Many people mistake chaos for passion and peace for boredom. You are learning the difference now. Beloved one, there is also a refining of your spiritual hearing taking place. You will notice that your intuition speaks more clearly, with less emotional noise attached. Guidance will feel simpler. Not always easier, but clearer. This is a gift that must be protected. Archangel Michael says discernment sharpens when it is respected. Every time you honor it, it grows stronger. Every time you ignore it, it dulls. You have chosen to honor it, and that choice has consequences that extend far beyond this single situation. There may still be moments where doubt tries to revisit you. Doubt often appears after progress, not before. It whispers questions like, what if you were wrong? Or what if you overprotected yourself? When those thoughts arise, return to peace. Peace is your confirmation. Anxiety is never sent as guidance from heaven. Beloved one, notice how your prayers are changing. You are asking less for rescue and more for wisdom, less for signs and more for strength. This is spiritual maturity. You are no longer asking God to fix everything. You are asking Him to guide you as you walk forward responsibly. Archangel Michael is pleased with this posture. Heaven responds quickly to those who move with humility and courage. You did not demand certainty before obedience. You moved with reverence for truth. That is why this message continues to unfold with clarity instead of confusion. Something new will begin to form in the coming season. Not rushed, not dramatic, but stable. It will feel like relief more than excitement at first. Do not dismiss it. Peace often arrives quietly because it does not need to impress you. It simply supports you. Beloved one, the warning has now completed its primary purpose. You are no longer standing at the edge of something harmful. You are standing on the foundation of discernment. From here, your steps will be steadier, your decisions calmer, and your heart lighter. Before moving forward, Archangel Michael invites you to seal this moment intentionally. Recognition angers transformation. Type I walk in divine protection in the comments if this message confirms what your spirit already knows. Blessing code 888 is now activated over your decisions, your peace, and your future. As this protection settles over you, hear this call as an extension of the same divine flow. The Lord is saying, what I shielded you from, I want to shield others from through you. When you support this mission, your seed becomes a wall of light for souls who are still one decision away from regret. I feel led to speak directly to you now. This act of giving is not optional. It is alignment. Scripture declares that those who release into good ground will see rivers rise where drought once lived. Do not delay this moment of obedience. So now through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, the link is waiting in the description. As you give, may heaven mark your generosity as a prophetic act and return it as multiplied peace. Obey now and release it. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now shifts the tone gently, but firmly, because what lies ahead is not about what you escaped, but about how you move forward. Protection is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a new posture. You are stepping into a season where wisdom must become a habit, not just a reaction to warning. There's a quiet recalibration happening in your spirit. You may notice that your tolerance for noise, drama, and emotional confusion has dropped significantly. This is intentional. Your soul is being trained to recognize peace as a baseline, not a luxury. Anything that disrupts that baseline will now feel foreign, even if it once felt normal. Archangel Michael says this is how you know growth has taken root. You no longer have to analyze everything deeply to know whether it is right or wrong. Your body, your emotions, and your spirit respond together. Alignment feels light. Misalignment feels heavy. Simple. Clear. You are also being taught patience at a higher level. Not passive waiting, but active steadiness. The kind of patience that does not chase outcomes or force timelines. This patience protects you from impulsive decisions that feel urgent but are not ordained. Beloved one, there is a temptation in moments like this to seek immediate replacement for what was released. To fill the space quickly so it does not feel empty. Archangel Michael warns against this gently. Empty space is not absence. It is preparation. Rushing to fill it can reintroduce misalignment under a different name. Allow yourself to be still without interpreting stillness as stagnation. Seeds do their most important work underground, unseen. Your discernment is rooting deeper. Your boundaries are settling into your nervous system. Your identity is stabilizing. You may notice changes in how you relate to others. Less explaining, less proving, less seeking validation, more listening, more observing, more choosing when to engage. This is not withdrawal. This is self-respect forming. Archangel Michael also highlights something important. You are learning the difference between compassion and responsibility. Compassion allows you to care without caring. Responsibility, when misplaced, makes you feel accountable for outcomes that were never yours to control. That misplaced responsibility was a source of past exhaustion. As this understanding settles, guilt will lose its grip. You will no longer feel responsible for fixing everyone or everything. You will still love, but you will love wisely. This shift alone prevents countless future wounds. Beloved one, be attentive to how your environment responds to your change. Some people will respect it immediately. Others may resist it. Resistance is not a sign that you are wrong. It is often a sign that old dynamics no longer work. Let reactions reveal what alignment could not. Do not shrink yourself to ease others' discomfort. Growth often disrupts unspoken agreements. A disruption is not cruelty. It is truth surfacing. Archangel Michael says your peace is becoming your compass. When something requires you to abandon peace to sustain it, that cost is too high. This standard will guide you safely through future decisions. There is also a new level of trust being built between you and God. Not the kind of trust that waits for constant reassurance, but the kind that moves quietly with confidence. You will notice that you no longer need as many signs. You recognize direction through calm clarity. This does not mean challenges will disappear. It means challenges will no longer destabilize you. You will meet them grounded, not reactive. Prepared, not panicked. Beloved one, reflect for a moment on how far you have already come in this message. The urgency that once felt overwhelming has softened into assurance. The fear that once tried to rise has been replaced by steadiness. This is evidence that the warning fulfilled its purpose. Now, your responsibility is to maintain what has been restored. Discernment must be practiced. Boundaries must be honored. Stillness must be protected. These are not burdens. They are privileges of maturity. Archangel Michael assures you that what is forming ahead will recognize you in this new posture. You will not have to chase it. It will meet you where you are. It will not require urgency to maintain. It will not punish you for resting. Until then, remain attentive but relaxed. Alert but at peace. Engaged but not entangled. This balance is your new strength. Stay with this unfolding. What comes next will reveal how this entire journey hath been preparing you not just to avoid tragedy, but to walk confidently into a future shaped by wisdom, protection, and calm authority. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with steadiness and authority, because this stage is about anchoring what has been restored. Many people experience moments of clarity, but not everyone knows how to live from that clarity long term. Heaven is teaching you how to make discernment your default state, not just a response to crisis. You may notice that life feels quieter now. Not empty, but quieter. Fewer emotional spikes. Fewer urgent reactions. Fewer inner arguments. This quiet is not boredom. It is order. When spiritual order returns, chaos loses its voice. Archangel Michael says this quiet is evidence that protection has settled deeply. There is something important you must understand here. Peace does not mean nothing is happening. It means what is happening is no longer fighting you. Progress that is aligned does not scream for attention. It unfolds with steadiness. Learn to value that. You are also being trained to recognize subtle warnings early, before situations escalate, before emotions tangle, before attachments deepen. This early awareness will save you time, energy, and heartache in ways you may never fully realize. Many battles are won by never entering them. Beloved one, do not underestimate the power of consistency. The enemy rarely returns with obvious danger. It returns with familiarity, with comfort, with small compromises that feel harmless. Archangel Michael says your strength now lies in honoring small inner nudges. Those nudges are guardrails. There may be moments when others do not recognize your growth because it is internal. They may expect the old version of you to react, explain, or overextend. When you do not, they may question the change. Let them. You do not need to perform maturity. You only need to live it. Archangel Michael also reminds you that rest is part of obedience. You are not required to constantly analyze, fix, or improve. Sometimes the most faithful response is to rest in what has already been revealed. Overprocessing can reopen doors that peace has already closed. Notice how your prayer life feels now. It is simpler, more honest, less desperate. This is alignment. You are no longer praying from fear of loss, but from trust and guidance. That shift alone changes outcomes. Beloved one, as you move forward, guard your focus. What you repeatedly consume shapes what you repeatedly feel. Choose inputs that reinforce clarity, not confusion. This is why spiritual messages matter, and why staying connected to reminders of truth helps you maintain balance. If this message has helped anchor you, take a moment to engage with it. Like this message so it continues to reach people who are standing at a critical crossroads. Share it with someone who needs reassurance and discernment right now. Leave a comment declaring that you choose peace, wisdom, and protection. Subscribe to this channel so you stay connected to messages that strengthen your spirit and sharpen your awareness. If you feel led, joining the membership supports this mission of spreading timely spiritual guidance and divine protection. Archangel Michael says participation is alignment in action. When you engage with truth, you reinforce it in your own life. There is also a reminder here about humility. Just because you see clearly now does not mean you are immune to future distractions. Stay teachable. Stay observant. Stay prayerful. Discernment is strongest when paired with humility. Beloved one, you may soon face a situation that tests this new posture. Not dramatically, but subtly. A moment where you could slip back into old habits or choose the new way. That moment is not a trap. It is confirmation. Each aligned choice strengthens your confidence. You are learning to trust calm decisions over emotional ones. To choose clarity over chemistry. To value peace over persuasion. These choices compound over time, creating a life that feels stable instead of reactive. Archangel Michael assures you that what is ahead will not require you to abandon yourself to keep it. It will meet you where you are, in this grounded state. That is how you will know it is right. Before you move on, pause with this truth. You are not surviving anymore. You are stabilizing. And stabilization is the foundation for growth that lasts. Hold on, because the next unfolding will reveal how everything you walked through was not just about protection, but preparation for a role you are now ready to step into. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now reveals something profound, because this entire journey hath been shaping you for responsibility, not just relief. Protection was only in the first layer. What follows is purpose. You were not merely rescued from something harmful, you were prepared for something meaningful. And preparation often looks like pruning before expansion. You may have noticed that your perspective has widened. Situations that once consumed your emotional energy now appear smaller, more manageable. This is not indifference. This is authority settling in. When authority matures, chaos loses influence. You are beginning to respond from wisdom instead of reflex. Archangel Michael says you are entering a phase where your presence itself carries discernment. People may feel calmer around you without knowing why. Conversations may slow down when you speak. Confusion may lessen simply because you are no longer feeding it. This is not ego. This is alignment radiating outward. There is also a lesson here about stewardship. What you have gained through this process must be guarded. Discernment is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. If neglected, it fades. If honored, it multiplies. Heaven trusts you with this level of clarity because you have shown willingness to listen before demanding answers. Beloved one, notice how your inner dialogue has changed. You are less harsh with yourself, less reactive to mistakes, more patient with process. This internal shift is just as important as any external decision. A calm inner world creates a stable outer life. You are also learning to differentiate between urgency and importance. Not everything that demands attention deserves it. Archangel Michael says many distractions disguise themselves as emergencies. True direction arrives with peace, not pressure. This discernment will save you repeatedly in the future. There may be moments ahead where others seek your counsel, even subtly. They may not ask directly, but they will watch how you move. Your calm choices will speak louder than advice ever could. This is how leadership forms quietly. Beloved one, understand this clearly. Leadership does not always mean visibility. Sometimes it means consistency. Choosing what is right even when no one is watching. Maintaining boundaries even when compromise would be easier. Trusting truth even when shortcuts appear attractive. Archangel Michael also reminds you that humility keeps discernment sharp. Do not assume you have arrived at a final destination. Growth continues in layers. Remain open to correction, refinement, and learning. Pride dulls perception. Humility preserves it. There is something else unfolding now. A deeper trust in timing. You are no longer rushing outcomes or forcing clarity. You are allowing things to reveal themselves naturally. This patience is not passive. It is grounded confidence. You trust that what is meant for you will not require chasing. Beloved one, the season ahead will reward steadiness. Small, consistent choices will produce lasting peace. Dramatic moves are not required. Quiet faithfulness is enough. You may feel moments of stillness that feel almost sacred. Do not fill them unnecessarily. Stillness is where insight deepens. Silence is where intuition strengthens. Archangel Michael says some answers only arrive when noise leaves. As you reflect on everything that has unfolded, recognize this truth. You did not miss anything meant for you. What passed was misaligned. What remains is sufficient. What is coming will meet you in peace, not urgency. Beloved one, your life is no longer being driven by avoidance of tragedy. It is being guided by pursuit of alignment. That shift changes everything. Decisions become lighter. Relationships become clearer. Direction becomes steadier. Archangel Michael assures you that you are ready for what comes next. Not because you have everything figured out, but because you are grounded, discerning, and willing to listen. That posture attracts guidance continually. Remain present. Remain calm. Remain honest with yourself. The final unfolding will seal this journey with clarity, blessing, and purpose, bringing everything you have sensed into one complete understanding. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with completion and sealing, because this journey of warning, protection, and alignment has reached its final threshold. What began as urgency has become wisdom. What began as fear hath been transformed into authority. You are not the same person who first heard this message, and that change was intentional. The emergency that once hovered near your path has been fully redirected. Not postponed. Not delayed. Redirected. Heaven responded to your awareness, your willingness, and your obedience. This is how divine protection works. It does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it simply removes danger so quietly that you only realize later what you were spared from. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this was never just about one situation. It was about teaching you how to listen, how to pause, how to choose peace over pressure. These lessons will echo through every future decision you make. You have been trained, not frightened. Prepared, not shaken. There is a deep calm settling in you now. A calm that does not depend on circumstances. A calm that remains even when answers are not immediate. This calm is strength. It is the sign of a soul that trusts guidance more than impulse. Guard this calm. It is one of your greatest protections. Beloved one, you are stepping into a season where discernment will feel natural instead of forced. You will no longer need dramatic confirmations to know what is right. Alignment will feel steady. Misalignment will feel obvious. This simplicity is not naivety. It is maturity. Archangel Michael says you are now equipped to recognize red flags early, without panic, without guilt, and without denial. You will not need to justify walking away from what disrupts your peace. You will simply choose differently, calmly, firmly, and without regret. There may still be moments ahead where memory tries to pull you backward, where familiarity tries to whisper comfort. When that happens, remember how heavy things once felt. Remember how clarity changed your breathing, your sleep, your thoughts. Let peace be your reference point. Beloved one, do not underestimate what has been restored in you. Trust in yourself. Trust in your perception. Trust in your ability to hear God's guidance. Archangel Michael affirms that you are no longer operating from survival. You are operating from wisdom. Your future will not require you to rush. It will not require you to beg. It will not require you to ignore your inner voice. What is meant for you will arrive with respect for your peace. As this message closes, know this truth deeply. You were warned because you are valued. You were protected because your destiny matters. You were guided because heaven intends good for you, not sorrow. Walk forward now without fear, without urgency, without regret. What tried to come against you has been handled. What lies ahead is aligned. If your spirit feels settled, if your heart feels lighter, if clarity now replaces confusion, receive this final seal. Type "I am divinely sealed" in the comments if this message completed its work in you. Blessing code 1212 is now released over your life, your decisions, and your future path. As this journey seals, hear this final call as a sacred instruction. The Lord is saying, "What I protected in you, I want to protect in others through your obedience." When you support this mission, You are sowing into lives that are one warning away from regret and one message away from peace. I am speaking to you directly now. This is not a donation. This is a prophetic response. The word declares that those who give in faith unlock open heavens, and your seed becomes light for souls still walking in confusion. Do not delay what God is prompting now. Release your support through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal. The link is in the description. As you give, may divine protection multiply over your household and may peace pursue you wherever you go. Act now and seal it.